Don't need to be listening to any music right now. I have not been this pissed about a Gopher loss. I don't think ever. I have the 3 years that I've had this YouTube channel, blessed to have this YouTube channel, I have never complained that the Gophers lost the game by the refs, but it happened today. The Golden Gophers, without the Jimmies and the Joes, playing in front of 100,000 fans, got absolutely screwed. My phone has lit up. The Gopher fans that I haven't even talked to in 2 years. One gentleman, holy smokes, you cannot do that. It was an absolute disgrace. Lee Austin Jr., I don't know. I mean, look, I got the picture. I'm going to be showing you the picture. You cannot call that offsides. You cannot call being offsides on an onside kick unless you are damn sure that the player is over the 35-yard line, that any part of his body is touching the 35. It is very difficult to make the call. That's why you have to be absolutely sure. It has to be egregious. And Matt Kingsbury, no part of his body was even touching the 35-yard line when the foot hit the ball. It isn't karma. Eisman 57. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I've had a lot of fun with Iowa fans. But there's 90% of you that don't even understand the difference between an illegal hand signal. That was the easiest call to make, what happened in the Iowa game last year. So it's not karma. It's BS. So don't compare the two. It's not even, that's an illegal hand signal. One of the easiest call to make. This, you got to be sure of the call. Look at this. Look at, I'm going to show it to you. Unbelievable. No Gopher is at the 35-yard line. You do not call an offsides on this. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. Michigan was absolutely done. Absolutely done. Minnesota got, if you did not see the game, Minnesota got this onside kick. They're already down at the 20 or inside the 20. Michigan was done, about to get defeated. Minnesota's ball, and they took it away. Absolutely took it away. And it would not have happened, no. If this was Michigan with the onside kick, never would have been called. Les Austin Jr., I don't know what to say to you, man. I don't know. Of course there's missed calls on both sides. Of course there is. But on an onside kick at the end of the game, you're calling this bull bleep? Really? 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 You're calling this? Really? You don't call offsides on a kickoff unless it's egregious. You definitely don't call it when the guy's not even offsides and at the end of the game on an onside kick. It is unbelievable. This is the worst. I have never, and I'm sorry, Michigan fans, you got everything on a silver platter. If you do not have the grace to even say, yeah, you know what? Referee screwed up on that. Good Lord. Good absolutely Lord. I have never, I don't ever recall saying that the Gophers got, of course there's missed calls against the Gophers. I have never said they've got screwed out of a game, but today's a little different. My God. This was as bad. Fox, if you watch the post game on Fox, they were saying, yeah, this was, you cannot call that. You cannot call it. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. I'm going to open up the phone lines. Louisville is getting their doors blown off, 21-7 Notre Dame. We'll be going through some other games. We're going to be doing a double watch party tonight. But there was no way on God's green earth that I wasn't going to have a post game after that. The Gophers, very limited ball team. They're in a lot of trouble. They're going to be next year. I'm very nervous. I think they're going to fall off the cliff a little bit more. Michigan's a very limited football team. They've got 6 great football players. They're the better team than Minnesota. But that second half, holy smokes, Michigan got trucked and the game was over. The game was over. When the Gophers got that onside kick, it was over. But a flag. Well, Michigan's not going to the playoffs. I did not have them at the playoffs at the start of the year. They're not going. They're good. They're not great this year. They've got great football players, though. But they got their quarterback. Michigan's not going to the playoffs. Just unbelievable. It has been almost 45 minutes, and I'm still stunned at that call. And I got to tell you, if you look at the Gophers message boards, if you could peek at my phone, damn. Imagine that call. Imagine that being called in the Michigan State. No, imagine that call being called in the Michigan-Ohio State. Imagine a referee throwing that flag. It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. But Gophers, sure. Wow. And we know the Big Ten's going to come out and say it was a blown call, blah, 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 blah. We know what's going to happen. Louisiana 14, Wake Forest 3, Duke and North Carolina has started. Boston College come back and win. 14 points in the fourth quarter, up 21-20. North Carolina State edges out Northern Illinois 24-17. Syracuse wins big over Holy Cross. In the Big 12, Kansas 14, TCU 7 at the end of the first quarter. And Kansas State 42, Oklahoma State 20. Oklahoma State, they just don't have the team. BYU wins on the road against Baylor 34-28. 34-28. Jake Retzlaff with 2 interceptions still survives. BYU 5-0. Holy smokes. And in the Big Ten, Wisconsin and USC tied 7-7 on CBS Sports. Ohio State and Michigan play later. Illinois, Penn State play later. Michigan 27, Minnesota 24 in a major screw job. Indiana 42, Maryland 28, Indiana 5-0. Nebraska 28, Purdue 10. Purdue has a very bad football team. Worse than the Gophers. Very bad football team. I don't know if Walters is going to survive his second season. That is a brutal squad that the Purdue Boilermakers have. Oklahoma up 7-0 over Auburn. Arkansas 14-7 over Texas A&M. Georgia and Alabama are going to be playing later in the big major upset. Number 6, Ole Miss goes down 20-17 against Kentucky. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Ole Miss loses to Kentucky. That is going to shake up. That is going to shake up the top 10 in the AP poll. Wow. Wow. Yeah, we're just talking about that. Unbelievable. We don't care, Greg. Well, Les Austin Jr., I can see that. I can see that it's probably a little disturbing that Michigan was even possibly going to lose that game today. Man, I tell you. Wow. Bo Weevil, Michigan stole the offside sign. Stallions in the stadium. Wow. It's here. Let me look. Of course there's missed calls on both sides of the... Of course there is. In every game. But at the end of the game, when you are just blowing the doors off in Michigan, when they're done, they're absolutely done. You get an onside kick, beautifully executed. Minnesota did nothing wrong. Not only did they recover it, but they recovered well down in Michigan. Couple plays, Minnesota puts it in, probably wins the game, most likely wins the game. And you get this called on you. And it doesn't happen if this is Michigan with the onside kick, or the Buckeyes, or the Nittany Lions. The Gophers, sure. All the disadvantages in the world. But that's one disadvantage the Gophers could not overcome. I do not remember a game in which at the very end, a call like that, which should have never been made, Miami has to travel to Cal next week. Yeah, you know what, Movie Time Blues, that is a classic trap game. Miami Hurricanes defense, I'm going to be worried about it. I'm going to be a little worried about it next week. College Football Mafia, fire Walters, hire Candle. It may happen. You watch some of that Purdue against Oregon State. You watch Purdue, Notre Dame. I mean, Purdue against Nebraska. I mean, Purdue is really, really, really bad. They're a different level of bad than Northwestern and Minnesota. That is their offensive line, their defense. They were holding and grabbing the whole game. The referees had to keep calling pass interference because it was. Purdue was a complete mess. Physically, they couldn't hold up. Wow. Derek Murray will finish 13-2. I'm going to have to disagree. If Michigan is getting beat in the second half by this Golden Gopher team, and you needed a BS call on an onside kick to win that game, you're not going 13-2. You're not even going close to 13-2. Derek Marie, did you watch your offense today? Holy smokes. This is the last time I'm going to call on you, Eisman 57. That's because the Iowa fans, for some reason, have gone straight to stupid. Most of you. Because that was the easiest call to make. And it was the right call. And the Big Ten said it was the right call. The Big Ten's going to come out and say this was the wrong call. I'm going to just commit to myself that any other comment that you make on this subject, Eisman 57, is trolling. Michigan's going to lose some games. No question about it. I mean, Minnesota... A judgment call that you don't make unless it's egregious. You do not call offsides on a kickoff unless the guy's a yard, 2 yards over the line, because it's such a difficult call to make. Louisville, ALC, Louisville fumble recovery near the 10-yard line. Woo! Michigan travels to Illinois. Illinois is going to kick the living bleep out of Michigan. You cannot review it either. Yeah, you cannot review it either. You know what? I'm just going to open up the phone lines. Post game, Gophers got screwed. You can talk, you can disagree if you want. But you better bring it, because I'm going to bring it back at you. The phone number is 763-260-1333. You can talk about any game that's been played today, any game that's going to be played tonight. Buckle up. Jeez. Okay. All right. I have no idea. All I know is at the end of the game, Michigan could barely stand up. And if they would not have called that just horrific call on the Gophers, game over. Yes, I am Eisman 57, because the refs made the correct call in the Iowa game. The referees made the correct call in the Iowa game. Any hand signal, you cannot advance the ball. It's the easiest call to make in all of football. And for whatever reason, the great Iowa Hawkeye fans, 90% of them don't understand the easiest call to make in all of college football. Any hand signal, you cannot advance the ball. It's an easy call. The Big Ten said right away it was the correct call. So I've been 57. You are the one that has been arguing for over a year about a conspiracy, about something, an egregious call that was an easy call. So these are no comparison at all. I've been 57. I love you, man, but the Iowa Hawkeye fans have lost their heads. Oh my gosh, we lost one game in the last 8 years to the Gophers. It can't be. It must have been that illegal fair catch. It was not a fair catch. It wasn't even Hokie style, Jamie. It wasn't even Hokie style. It was a whole new brand of style. The Gophers recovered an onside kick, down 27-24, dominating Michigan in the fourth quarter. And this was the offsides call. By the way, this is after the kicker kicked the ball, not at the moment that he kicked it. A call that is only made when it's egregious. They decide that maybe the Gopher player was an inch over the line, so we're going to throw the flag. Screw you, referee. Screw you, Big Ten. You took the game away from the Gophers. That's what you did. Give me a call. Phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. Michigan Wolverines with millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars advantage over the Gophers. All the recruiting advantage over the Gophers at home against the Gophers. Needed the Big Ten to come in, the referee, and screw over the little Golden Gophers. Holy smokes. And Opie, you'll probably never see me like this again. Okay, bad time to get here. The Gophers have never been, I don't remember the Gophers ever being screwed like this. And it would not have happened the other way around. It just wouldn't have. Okay, let's we got some big games going on here. Big games going on. let me get out of this. Phone lines are open. Give us a call. Colorado 0. UCF 0. UCF at the 7-yard line of Colorado. Shedeur Sanders with an interception. UCF 3-0, 1-0. My question for UCF is, when do they get ranked in the top 25? When do they get in the top 25? Louisville now down 7. Mississippi State, Texas, 0-0. Arkansas 14, Texas A&M 7. Oklahoma and Auburn tied up at 7. Greg, as a Michigan fan, I feel your pain. If I'm being honest, I feel like it was a makeup call. For a couple earlier plays, they didn't call for Michigan. Yeah. I do not expect any Michigan fan to come on in here and say, yes, the Gophers got absolutely screwed. I don't think it's ever happened, and I don't think it would ever happen. I see a call coming in, but it's not coming through on my well, maybe I can't take. Let me here we go. Hello? Hello?
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Good. Who's this?
It's Steve.
Steve, I apologize. Something wrong. My phone went, anyways. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
My phone's been goofy all day, Greg. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
So it could be my phone, too.
Yeah.
Just one of the things I take away from the early games today was Mississippi's not a top 10 team.
Well, that was a shocker to me. Wow. Yeah, you might be right, and I'm shocked by that.
Look at the time of possession in that game, Greg. It's crazy.
Yeah, Kentucky ran the ball 47 times, but only for 93 yards.
Yeah, but they kept drives going, and if your defense can't get stops on crucial downs, that could come back and haunt you. I think that did a little bit with them today. And Dart was running for his life a lot of times today, too. Kentucky was coming with pretty good pressure sometimes. It's only a 4-man rush.
Yeah.
I don't know how many sacks there were. There may not been that many, but he got hurried. And it kind of showed through the whole game.
Yeah.
The other thing, I've been channel surfing all day.
Sure.
And I watched a lot of the Minnesota-Michigan game, but, of course, I didn't get to see the call live.
The screw job?
And then I saw it replayed, and I'm going, what in the world just happened? How
I'm going to put up on the screen one more time. This is not called unless it's egregious. And
Yep.
it wasn't even offsides.
Yep.
It's up. Yeah.
And I'm baffled by, well, basically last night too. I'm not sure the explanation that the ACC gave. Let's put aside whether it was a catch. That's okay. Last night by the Virginia Tech player. Let's put that all aside. The reason the call was overturned because a player was laying out of bounds and touched the ball.
Yeah.
I've yet to find when it was called a touchdown. Yet to find that rule when the ball's not in possession, because I'm not clearly sure the guy had possession from Miami that they're saying was laying out of bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough job. Don't get me wrong. To be an official, to make the right call.
Yeah.
But you, especially with replay, you can't overturn. You can't overturn what you called a touchdown when it looked like it did. When the play, as the play progressed, and you called a touchdown, and then you come back, you can't do that. But they did, so I guess they can. I was watching. Of course, I was watching BYU and Baylor. Baylor made they got down so early, but then they made a couple runs at BYU. And then the fake punt that BYU called. I'm afraid, and I'm a Dave Aranda fan, but I'm afraid as you watch that game, there may have been some boosters and maybe administration that weren't real happy with the way things played out. You know what I'm saying? Play by play, Greg.
Yeah.
If you really dissect it, I'm afraid the guy could be hanging on for dear life here. One of the games tonight I'm interested is Penn State and Illinois. I think Illinois is just as physical as anybody. Do they have the skill people that may be able to match Penn State skill people? What do you think?
I think they do. That branch receiver, Pat Bryant and Zakara, whatever his name is, Zakara, the guy who was in he played G5 a couple years ago, transferred, didn't do anything last year, was a late transfer pickup to Illinois. They've got a couple guys, and then they've got Fegan, a running back, and a couple other running backs, and Brett Bielema has a good O-line, of course. He doesn't have the D-line that he had last year. But they had a couple guys go in the NFL draft that were in the interior. But Illinois, I think they can give Penn State a game tonight, no question. Zachariah Franklin, thank you, Alani Ted, thank you, sir. Franklin and Bryant are really, I think they've got the skill players, no question.
Yep. I currently have on UCF in Colorado. It's 0-0 with 5.5 minutes in the first quarter. And I can't believe there's no score because these two defenses are not very good, Greg.
Yeah.
UCF's defense is real suspect. Everybody knows. UCF didn't score down inside the 5. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, see which offense makes a big play or the defense makes a big play to get their get their team some points. I don't know.
Yeah.
Last thing. Georgia, Alabama. What do you think?
Georgia.
Do you?
Yeah. I got Georgia. Yep.
I think Alabama might come out playing in the.
Hello?
Obviously, Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia has they have the athletes in the back seven to take care of that, but it may be a different look that Georgia's going to see from the Alabama offense, and I don't know. I don't know if they have some success. Who knows? But anyhow, my main thing was the Ole Miss thing.
Yeah.
No way they're number 6.
All righty,
in
sir.
the country. All right, great.
Appreciate the call, my man.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks for the call, Steve. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There are missed calls in a game, right? Because, listen to me, guys, because most plays, there's a lot of things going on. The referee eyes are somewhere else. They missed the face mask. They missed the holding. There's a whole bunch of things going on. In most of the plays in football, there's a whole bunch of things going on. Okay? So there's missed calls back and forth. But here's the deal. The reason why this is so unbelievably a screw job is on this play, the referee has one thing he's looking at. Not 25 things. One thing. Is it offsides or is it not? And they don't call offsides on a kickoff unless it's egregious, because it's a very difficult call to make. This is one job the referee had. He ain't looking for a holding. So don't compare. People are saying, well, they missed this call in that part of the game, this call in that part of the game, blah, 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 blah. He had one job. And if it isn't egregious, to make sure you got the call right, you don't call the bleeping offsides. And I've got other morons on Twitter saying, well, Greg, it wouldn't have mattered because the ball bounced off the Gophers' knee, blah, blah, blah. It was after 10 yards. It was the perfectly executed onside kick. And you called something that you just don't call. There's a difference between missed calls, because people are human, and throwing your flag when there's no way you saw an egregious offsides when it wasn't even offsides in the first place. Keep the flag in your pocket. You guys don't understand the difference of that? Oh, great, you missed a play on the 4-yard line. Blah. Yeah, there are missed calls all over the place. That's why I never blame the refs for a game. That's why I never do it. But today, the referees put a little bit of icing on the cake that I'm vomiting all over the floor with. This is a screw job, because it's the one aspect of this certain play that the referee has responsibility for. This is a screw job. You don't think you still don't understand the difference? Look. Again. If it's the game, the Buckeyes and the Wolverines, and one team has come back and they're down 27-24, they're kicking the living bleep out of the other team. They're down 3. They do an onside kick. Do you think the referee is throwing the flag in the Wolverine Buckeye game like that? It's not a judgment call. It's a call you don't make unless it's egregious. Gophers got screwed. And if you can't come in here and say Gophers got screwed, what are you looking at? Damn straight I'm angry. I mean, good Lord, how many times do you think the Gophers have a chance to beat a Michigan, Ohio State, a Penn State? We beat Michigan in 2014. What do you think? And we were kicking the living bleep out of them when it happened. That's another thing. And the onside kick went all the way, I don't know how many yards Minnesota had. Minnesota was going to win that game. It was over. And the referee, well, you know, golly gee whiz, I thought it was offsides. Jeez. It's 3rd and about 4 for Louisville. I don't know what we're doing. We're taking phone calls. You guys are listening to me rant. Dave Wheat. If it had been my Houston Cougars, we'd have gotten that non-existent offsides call and a personal foul to boot. Yeah, exactly. If Minnesota was playing Rutgers, they wouldn't have called it. Just a hose. Oh boy, Louisville's running it. Louisville is running on Notre Dame. This has become a basically watch party for Notre Dame Louisville. As well as the entire team getting ejected. I mean, do you guys want to see what's being said? I can't show it to you because it's subscriber. It's bad, guys. It's I can maybe read you a couple comments. I mean, is this a better picture for you all to see? No, it's not. It's the same. It's just not offsides. On a bleeping onside kick. Intercepted Notre Dame out of the hands of the Louisville receiver. That's bad luck. I don't need to go back to 34 and 36. I'll just go back to 2014. 1986, 1977, 1997. I don't have to go back that far, David. But my God, you guys got a horseshoe right up your ass. Holy moly. And most of you don't even know it. Like, thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. Okay, guys. I think we're going to shut it down because we're coming live later tonight. This was a post-game rant show. We're doing a double watch party. Georgia, Alabama, Illinois, Penn State. We're going to be coming live right about game time, 7:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Central time. I hope all of you can join us, even those Michigan Wolverine fans that are giving me a hard time in the chat. Come join us, double watch party. We'll yell at the referees. We'll talk about how my beloved Golden Gophers got screwed. So until next time, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.